Most men are stuck in the same trap. They believe that doing things for a woman will make her love them. They think being the provider, the helper, the fixer, the one who's always available, is the secret to making her stay. So they buy her things, they solve her problems, they become her emotional sponge. But here's the cold truth. Women don't care what you do for them if you're not giving them what they actually want from a man. This is hard to accept, especially if you've been raised to believe that being the nice guy is the way in. But in the modern dating world, nice doesn't get attention. Being overly available doesn't create desire. Doing everything for her doesn't earn you her love, it earns you her boredom. The truth is, a woman will gladly accept what you give her and still lose interest in you the next week. Why? Because you're giving her everything except what actually makes her crave you. A woman is drawn to certain qualities in a man that make her feel something, and when she feels it, she gets addicted. When it's missing, she checks out. Emotionally, mentally, even physically. So no matter what you do, if you don't have these 5 things she truly wants, you'll always be the guy she keeps around until she finds someone better. This isn't about being cold or playing games. This is about waking up. If you're tired of trying so hard and getting nothing back, it's time to understand what actually triggers attraction, respect, and emotional investment in a woman. These are the 5 things that flip the switch. And once you get them right, she starts chasing you. Number 1. Masculine presence. In today's dating world, the average man is physically there but emotionally absent. He may show up for dates, respond to texts, and say all the right things, but what's missing is presence. Women don't just want your actions. They want to feel your energy when you walk in the room. They want a man who isn't distracted, who isn't chasing their validation, and who can command space with quiet confidence. Women presence is not about being loud, aggressive, or overly dominant. It's about stillness. It's about being so grounded in yourself that she feels more secure just by being around you. Most men don't even realize how badly they lack this. They're always anxious. They overthink every move. They're reacting instead of leading, and women pick up on this fast. A man with presence doesn't need to speak much. He makes her feel something just by how he holds himself. He looks her in the eye without flinching. He doesn't try too hard. He's not worried about what she's thinking. He's focused on who he is. That energy creates a tension women crave. It's what makes them lean in, open up, and trust you without knowing why. If you're constantly doing things for her but you disappear emotionally, she loses interest. Women are emotional creatures. They connect through energy, not effort. When she feels like you're distracted, insecure, or uncertain of yourself, her body starts detaching, even if her words say otherwise. But when you're grounded, when you're calm in the chaos, and when you carry yourself like your time and space matter, she'll crave to be part of your world. That's the power of masculine presence. It makes her feel safe without you saying a word. Number 2. Emotional control. One of the biggest reasons women lose respect for men fast is because those men have no grip on their emotions. In the beginning, it's easy to seem cool and in control. You're not too invested yet, but once your feelings grow, most men slip. They start reacting, they become needy, they get jealous, overly sensitive, or too easily offended. A woman may not always say it directly, but the moment you lose emotional control, she starts to see you as weak. And the truth is, once a woman sees you as emotionally weak, her attraction dies quietly. A man who can't control himself becomes a burden. She doesn't feel protected with you. She feels like she's the one protecting your feelings. That's backwards. You're supposed to be her rock, not another emotional task on her plate. A man who knows how to feel his emotions without drowning in them is dangerous in a good way. He doesn't run from his pain, but he doesn't bleed it all over her either. He doesn't panic when she pulls back. He doesn't argue over petty things. He responds. He doesn't react. When you learn to hold your emotions like a man, she feels safe opening up hers. This is what separates a boy from a man. A boy explodes or breaks down when things don't go his way. A man absorbs the pressure, processes it, and moves with purpose. She watches how you handle setbacks. She tests your patience. She notices how you act when you're frustrated, when you're insecure, when she's being difficult. If you fall apart, she pulls away. If you stay solid, she pulls closer. A woman wants to be emotionally led, not emotionally babysat. And if you're constantly reacting to her behavior, begging for clarity, or making her responsible for your emotional stability, you're showing her you're not ready to lead. A man who holds emotional control, even when things aren't perfect, becomes magnetic. He becomes the man she can't shake off. Because deep down, he gives her the one thing every woman wants: a sense of emotional safety. Number 3. Purpose over her. A man without purpose will always chase a woman harder than she ever chases him. And when that happens, she loses all interest. In the modern dating world, women are surrounded by men who are dying for attention, validation, and intimacy. But very few men have something greater driving them. When a woman sees that your entire life revolves around her, she may smile and say she appreciates it, but internally she starts to pull away. Why? Because she doesn't want to be your world. She wants to be invited into a world you already own. Purpose is not just about your job, your hustle, or your business. It's about direction. It's about having something meaningful you're chasing that has nothing to do with her. A man with purpose moves differently. He doesn't have time to sit on the phone all day. He doesn't drop everything just because she's in a mood. He doesn't need her approval for every little decision. He's on a mission, and that mission makes him attractive. Because a man who values his time naturally raises his value in her eyes. When your life is focused on your goals, your growth, and your path, a woman feels inspired being near you. She doesn't see you as just another man seeking comfort. She sees you as a man building something. That creates emotional gravity. The moment she realizes you'll still thrive with or without her, she starts investing. It triggers her instinct to want to be a part of what you're building. Not because you begged her, but because your energy is moving forward with or without her. Too many men give up their purpose as soon as they fall for a woman. They lose the gym, the goals, the grind. They trade all of it for constant availability. But you were never meant to orbit around her. When you put your mission first, you force her to step into your reality, not the other way around. You stop being the guy who tries to impress her, and you become the man she wants to impress. That's the shift. Purpose grounds you. It keeps your emotions in check. It builds your confidence. And most importantly, it separates you from the crowd of men who are trying to win her with effort alone. She doesn't want effort. She wants to feel like she's a part of something powerful. And if you're not already building that before she arrives, she won't stay long after she does. Number 4. Unwavering Standards. A woman will always test the man she's with. Not because she's cruel, but because she wants to feel the strength of his spine. She wants to know, will you bend just to keep her happy? Will you betray yourself just to keep her around? Or do you have standards that don't move? No matter how attractive she is, no matter how much you like her, no matter how badly you want things to work. Most men fail here. They'll compromise their principles just to keep her smiling. And every time they do, they lose a little more of her respect. Women don't crave perfection. They crave certainty. They crave leadership. And leadership means knowing what you accept, what you reject, and what lines are never crossed. The second, a man starts tolerating disrespect, emotional games, inconsistencies, or behavior that doesn't align with his values, the woman starts seeing him as disposable. She might not leave right away, but mentally she's checking out. Why? Because if you can't lead yourself with strength and discipline, you have no business trying to lead her. A man with unwavering standards doesn't argue about them. He doesn't beg a woman to understand them. He simply lives by them. If she tests them, he doesn't flinch. If she crosses them, he steps back. Not out of punishment, but out of self-respect. Women pay attention to that. It tells them you're a man of integrity. It shows them you're not afraid to walk away, and that scares them in the best way. When a woman knows she can't control you, she starts valuing you more. This is why some men do everything right and still get walked all over. It's not about what you do, it's about what you tolerate. If you allow her to lead emotionally, set the tone, and cross boundaries unchecked, she'll never fully trust you. On the flip side, if you stay rooted in your values, no matter what's happening between you two, she'll start molding herself to fit your world. That's how influence works. That's how attraction builds, and that's when she starts chasing. This doesn't mean you become controlling, it means you become consistent. If you say you don't tolerate disrespect, then don't laugh it off when it happens. If you value communication, then don't reward silent treatment with attention. If loyalty matters to you, then don't entertain a woman who still keeps her options open. A man with unwavering standards isn't rigid, he's solid. And that's what makes a woman feel both challenged and secure at the same time. Number 5. Sexual polarity. Now let us move into something most men completely overlook: sexual polarity. If you do not understand this, you can do everything else right. You can be kind, you can be successful, you can be generous, and still something will feel off. The spark will be missing, the chemistry will not build, and over time the connection will fade. Why? Because without polarity there is no natural attraction. So what exactly is sexual polarity? It is the dynamic tension between masculine and feminine energy. When this polarity is strong, there is pull, there is spark, there is desire. When it is weak, you feel like friends or even roommates. Here is what happens to many well-meaning men. They get into a relationship. They think the way to make her happy is to be more agreeable, more accommodating, more soft. They tone themselves down. They avoid leading. They avoid expressing desire. They try to be the nice guy, and in doing so, they slowly kill the polarity. Feminine energy is naturally drawn to strong, grounded masculine energy. It wants to feel that pull. It wants to feel led. It wants to feel the presence of a man who knows who he is and is not afraid to take the lead. When a man hides this side of himself, when he becomes passive, he becomes invisible to her feminine core. Now, this does not mean being domineering. It does not mean being controlling. It means embracing your natural masculine essence, being decisive, being calm, being clear in your desire, and most of all, not being afraid of the tension that arises from that dynamic. This is where Stoic wisdom is powerful. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." A Stoic man is not shaken by a woman's emotions. He does not try to please. He does not seek approval. He holds his frame. He leads with calm strength. And that leadership creates sexual polarity. Think about it. A woman cannot feel feminine if you are also acting feminine. She cannot relax into her softness if you are soft. She cannot surrender to your leadership if you will not lead. When you show up with clear, calm, masculine energy, you give her the space to drop into her feminine, and from that space desire is born. Let me give you an example. One of my clients, Paul, was struggling in his relationship. His partner said she loved him, but the chemistry felt flat. He could not understand why. He was doing everything for her. He was attentive. He was thoughtful. But what he was not doing was leading. He was not expressing clear masculine energy. He was not creating polarity. When he shifted this, when he started leading more, when he stopped apologizing for his desire, when he held strong presence, everything changed. The spark returned. The dynamic shifted. She began responding to him in a completely different way, because now the polarity was alive again. And here is the key. You do not create polarity by doing more for her. You create it by being more of yourself, more grounded, more decisive, more present. You show her the man she can lean into, the man who can hold space for her full feminine energy. Many men fear this. They worry about being too bold, too forward. But here is what you must understand. Women crave this. They want a man who can meet their feminine with strong masculine. They want a man who can lead without controlling, a man who can express desire without neediness. So ask yourself, where are you shrinking your masculine energy? Where are you holding back? Because when you stop doing that, when you embrace who you are fully, you will be amazed at how women respond. If you are ready to bring that level of polarity into your life, type this in the comments. I lead with calm strength, and do not go anywhere. Because what comes next will take this understanding even deeper. You will see how these simple shifts create attraction most men never experience. Number 6. Mystery and unpredictability. Here is something many men fail to understand. Predictability kills attraction. When everything about you becomes obvious, when there is no more curiosity, when your every move can be anticipated, that is when a woman's desire quietly begins to fade. What keeps her drawn to you, what keeps her engaged, is a sense of mystery and unpredictability. Let us break this down. Feminine energy thrives on feeling, on the unknown, on the dance of emotions and experience. When a man is too consistent in a flat way, too available, too explainable, he removes the very tension that fuels attraction. This does not mean being unreliable. It does not mean being chaotic. It means having a life and an inner world that is rich, one that she cannot fully map. It means you have edges she has not yet explored. Now, here is why this is so important. In the beginning of any relationship, there is natural mystery. You are getting to know each other. Every conversation, every glance holds the promise of discovery. But as time goes on, if you reveal everything too quickly, if you become an open book with no more pages, curiosity fades, and with it, attraction. So how do you cultivate mystery? It starts with living a life that is bigger than any one relationship. Having passions, pursuits, and experiences that are yours alone. It is about not sharing every thought, every plan, every feeling the moment it arises. It is about pacing your communication so she never fully knows what is coming next. And more than that, it is about energy. Carrying yourself in a way that says, there is more to me than what you see. This aligns perfectly with Stoic philosophy. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, be tolerant with others and strict with yourself. The Stoic man does not reveal everything to everyone. He does not seek validation through constant sharing. He holds a certain reserve, a quiet confidence that invites curiosity. Women sense this immediately. It makes them lean in wanting to know more. Let me give you a real example. One of my clients, James, used to overshare in relationships. He thought the way to build connection was to always be transparent, to lay out all his feelings, all his plans, hoping this would create intimacy. But what it created was predictability. There was no edge, no surprise, no mystery. And over time, the women he dated lost interest. When James learned to hold back a little, to live more in his purpose, to let some things unfold naturally instead of being announced, everything changed. The same women became more engaged. They reached out more. They wanted to be closer. Why? Because now James had become a man of mystery again, a man they could not fully figure out. Remember this. The feminine is drawn to the unknown, to what is just out of reach. When you embody mystery and unpredictability, you give her the gift of continued curiosity. She cannot put you in a box. She cannot fully predict you. And because of that, she stays emotionally engaged. But this must come from authenticity. Do not fake it. Do not play games. Live a life that genuinely interests you. Cultivate a strong inner world. Maintain standards. Pursue purpose. And let your presence reflect that depth. When you do, mystery happens naturally. So ask yourself, are you too predictable? Are you too available? Are you giving away all your energy too quickly? Because the man who holds some back, who moves with purpose, who surprises with depth, is the man women remember. If you are ready to become that man, type this in the comments. I lead with mystery and depth, and keep watching. What comes next will take this understanding even further, showing you how to sustain attraction for the long term. Number 7. Discipline and self-respect. Now we arrive at a trait that quietly speaks volumes to any woman, often louder than your words ever could. Discipline and self-respect. These two qualities go hand in hand. One without the other is incomplete. And when both are present in a man, they create a powerful undercurrent of attraction that is felt on a deep instinctual level. Let us begin with discipline. Many men believe that being attractive to women is about charm, good looks, or saying the right things. While those can help, what truly sets a man apart is how he carries himself over time. A man with discipline follows through. He honors his commitments both to others and to himself. He takes care of his body. He invests in his purpose. He does not need to announce this. It shows in the way he moves, in his energy, in his presence. Now consider this from a woman's perspective. A man who cannot control himself, who constantly gives in to every impulse, who lacks structure, creates uncertainty. And uncertainty breeds doubt. She wonders, can this man really lead? Can he handle life's challenges? Can he offer the stability her feminine energy seeks? On the other hand, a disciplined man signals reliability without needing to say a word. His consistency builds trust. His actions speak of inner strength. And it is this steadiness that allows her to feel safe, to lean in, to relax into her feminine nature. But discipline alone is not enough. It must be paired with self-respect. Because here is what happens too often. A man develops discipline in his work, his body, his craft, but when it comes to women, he folds. He sacrifices his time, his standards, even his values, just to win approval. And in doing so, he betrays himself. Self-respect is about holding the line. It is about knowing your worth and refusing to compromise it for validation. It is about honoring your time, your energy, your boundaries. And it is one of the most attractive qualities a man can embody. Because when you truly respect yourself, others cannot help but respect you too. This is where Stoic wisdom offers timeless insight. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. A good man does not seek constant affirmation from others. He lives by his principles. He governs himself. His respect is not given away cheaply. It is earned by himself first." When a woman encounters a man like this, she feels it immediately. She sees that he will not chase, will not beg, will not lose himself in pursuit of her. He is whole on his own. And this creates space for genuine connection. Not one based on need, but on mutual respect and attraction. Let me share an example. One of my clients, Ethan, was a high performer at work, but constantly struggled in relationships. He would do everything to please the women he dated, often at the cost of his own priorities. Over time, they lost interest. They said he was too nice, too available. When Ethan started focusing on his discipline again, when he set boundaries around his time, when he stopped trying to prove his worth, something shifted. He became more centered, more grounded, and the women he met began responding very differently. Not because he had changed how he treated them, but because he had changed how he treated himself. Remember this. A woman may be drawn to your charm. She may enjoy your attention. But what makes her stay, what makes her respect you deeply, is witnessing your discipline and your unwavering self-respect. That is what sets you apart. That is what makes you the man who does not need to chase because he naturally attracts. So take a moment and reflect. Are you living with true discipline? Are you honoring your own standards? Are you respecting your time, your body, your mind? Because when you do, the energy you project will speak louder than any words you could ever say. If you are ready to live that way, type this in the comments. I respect myself first, and keep watching, because what comes next will show you how to deepen this presence even further. Number 8. The thrill of emotional mystery. Now we enter a subtle but powerful territory. The thrill of emotional mystery. This is something most men overlook. They focus so much on saying the right things, doing the right things, being the perfect partner, that they forget one crucial truth. The feminine is not drawn to what is fully known. It is drawn to what is slightly out of reach, to what stirs curiosity, to what leaves her wondering. When everything about you is laid out plainly, when your emotions, your thoughts, your desires are always explained and packaged, you remove the very tension that fuels her attraction. There is no more anticipation, no more wondering what you feel or what will happen next. And without that emotional mystery, desire fades. Let us understand why. Feminine energy moves through feeling. It craves experience, discovery, surprise. It seeks a man who offers not just stability, but also a sense of depth that is never fully mapped. A man who reveals layers over time, who holds a part of himself back not to play games, but because he lives from a strong inner world that cannot be rushed. This is where many well-intentioned men make a mistake. They think being fully open, fully transparent at all times is the path to connection. They overshare. They remove all tension. They try to prove themselves as trustworthy. But in doing so, they kill the very mystery that keeps a woman intrigued. Stoic philosophy reminds us of this balance. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Be like the cliff against which the waves continually break, but it stands firm and tames the fury of the water." The Stoic man is grounded. He does not reveal every inner wave. He does not seek approval by laying himself bare. He holds his emotional depth with quiet strength. And this invites curiosity. When a woman senses this in you, something shifts. She starts leaning in. She starts wondering what lies beneath the surface. She begins to feel a pull that goes beyond words, because now there is more to discover. And discovery is the fuel of lasting attraction. Let me give you an example. One of my clients, Nathan, used to struggle with this. He was always quick to explain his feelings, to tell women everything about himself early on. He thought this would build closeness. But time and again, the women he dated would lose interest. They said things like, "You are a great guy, but something is missing." When Nathan learned to slow down, to share at his own pace, to hold some of his emotional depth, without needing to explain it all, the dynamic changed. The same women became more engaged. They wanted to know more. They felt a deeper pull, because now there was emotional mystery again. Understand this. Mystery is not about being distant. It is not about coldness. It is about having an inner life, a world of your own that you do not give away too easily. It is about pacing your emotional availability, letting her feel that while you are present and engaged, there is always more to discover. And this draws her in again and again. This is especially true over time. In the early stages of attraction, mystery is natural, but in long-term relationships, many men lose this edge. They become too predictable, too explained, too available, and slowly the thrill fades. But when you maintain emotional mystery, even years into a relationship, you keep that spark alive. So ask yourself, are you sharing too much too soon? Are you removing all the tension that fuels her curiosity? Or are you living in a way that invites her to keep discovering who you are? If you are ready to embody that kind of emotional depth, type this in the comments. I live with calm depth. And stay tuned. What comes next will show you how to use this even more powerfully. Number 9. Desire for a man she can't control. Now we come to a dynamic that touches a very primal part of feminine attraction. The desire for a man she cannot control. You see, many men mistakenly believe that if they give a woman everything she wants, if they adjust their behavior to please her, if they constantly accommodate her moods and needs, this will win her over. They think this will make her happy and secure the relationship. But in truth, it does the opposite. The more a man can be controlled, the less attractive he becomes. The more he compromises himself to please her, the more her respect diminishes. Because deep down, what the feminine truly craves is a man who stands firm in who he is. A man whose sense of self does not sway with her emotions or approval. A man she cannot bend to her will. Why is this so powerful? Because feminine energy is naturally testing, not out of malice but out of instinct. Women often test to feel where your boundaries are, to sense how strong your frame is, to know if you are a man who can truly lead, protect, and offer stability. If every time she pushes you yield, she no longer feels safe in your presence, you become someone she can manipulate, and with that, her attraction fades. Now, this does not mean being rigid or cold. It means having a clear sense of self, knowing your values, having standards, being willing to walk away when those are compromised. It is about responding, not reacting, leading, not chasing. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Never esteem anything as of advantage to you that will make you break your word or lose your self-respect." A Stoic man lives this truth. He does not betray himself for approval. He holds to his principles. And this inner strength is felt by everyone around him, especially by women. When a woman meets a man she cannot control, something awakens inside her. There is challenge. There is respect. There is intrigue. She knows that this man is not easily swayed, that he will not be molded to her desires. And this creates a dynamic tension that fuels attraction. Let me give you a real story. One of my clients, Lucas, had a pattern of relationships where he would always adjust himself to fit what he thought the woman wanted. He would change his plans. He would shift his opinions. He would become overly agreeable. And every time the women would eventually lose interest, they would say, "You are nice, but there is no spark." When Lucas began working on his self-respect, when he got clear on his values, when he stopped trying to be the perfect boyfriend and instead became the man he truly was, everything changed. He began to attract women who respected him deeply, women who desired him because now he was someone they could not control. Understand this. A woman desires a man whose world does not revolve around her. A man who has direction, who moves with purpose, who cannot be easily swayed. She wants to be chosen by that man, not because he needs her, but because he values her. And the moment she feels she cannot fully control you, she begins to lean in. She becomes more invested, more curious, more drawn to your strength. So ask yourself, are you too quick to please? Are you adjusting who you are to avoid conflict? Are you seeking approval at the cost of your own integrity? Because the man who lives from his center, who respects himself first, is the man who keeps her desire alive. If you are ready to embody that strength, type this in the comments. I live from my center, and do not miss what comes next. It will show you how to amplify this presence even further. Number 10. Craving subtle masculine tension. Now let us talk about something that operates below the surface of words. Something that is felt, not always seen. Subtle masculine tension. Many men overlook this entirely. They think that once they have done the right things, said the right words, set up the right circumstances, attraction should flow naturally. But what they miss is that desire lives in tension, and not just any tension. Subtle masculine tension. It is the quiet charge between you and her, the space where polarity lives and breathes. Without this, no amount of effort or correctness will sustain her attraction, because feminine energy craves this charge. It wants to feel the presence of a man who holds himself steady while allowing space for her to feel, to express, to surrender. Let us break this down. Many well-intentioned men, especially those who try hard to be respectful and kind, often neutralize this tension without realizing it. They become too soft, too agreeable, too eager to please, and in doing so, they collapse the very space where attraction grows. They move into a dynamic that feels more like friendship than desire. Subtle masculine tension is not about being aggressive. It is not about being forceful. It is about presence, calm, grounded presence. It is about the energy you bring into a room, the way you hold eye contact, the way you move, the way you remain unshaken by her tests or emotions. It is about leading interactions with quiet certainty while giving her the freedom to respond however she chooses. This is where Stoic wisdom plays a key role. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. The Stoic man understands that he cannot control outcomes, but he can control his own presence. And this presence radiates subtle tension when held with confidence. Let me give you a simple example. Imagine you are on a date. The conversation pauses for a moment. Many men uncomfortable with silence will rush to fill the space with words. But the man who is grounded, who is at ease in himself, lets the pause breathe. He maintains eye contact. He lets his energy communicate. In that moment, without saying a word, subtle masculine tension is created, and that tension draws her in. Or think about physical space. A man who touches her too eagerly, too often, too soon, often repels. But a man who leads with controlled, intentional touch, who respects boundaries while still expressing desire, creates a charge that she can feel, a charge that leaves her wanting more. This tension also lives in your communication. A man who constantly reassures, who seeks approval through words, weakens the dynamic. But a man who speaks with clarity, with few but meaningful words, and who lets his actions speak louder, maintains the space where attraction grows. Now here is where many men go wrong. They try to fake this tension. They try to act mysterious or distant. But it must come from genuine inner calm, from knowing who you are, from living with purpose and integrity. When you cultivate that, within, the tension flows naturally. One of my clients, Adrian, used to struggle with this. He was always trying to impress women with conversation, with humor, with doing more. But he lacked presence. When he began working on his grounding, his posture, his ability to be still, to listen, to hold space, women responded in a completely different way. He stopped chasing. He started leading. And with that, subtle masculine tension returned. So ask yourself, are you too quick to fill space, too eager to seek approval? Or are you cultivating the presence that invites her feminine energy to dance with yours? Because when you do, you no longer chase, you attract, you no longer seek, you allow. And that, my friend, is the art of subtle masculine tension. If you are ready to live from that energy, type this in the comments: I embody calm strength. And stay tuned, because what comes next will help you take this even further. And there you have it. Now you understand why doing more for a woman is not what truly draws her in. It is these qualities we have just explored that spark lasting desire. Qualities that most men never even think to cultivate. But you are not most men. The fact that you are here, that you are learning, that you are choosing to lead your life with purpose, strength, and integrity already sets you apart. If you found this video valuable, make sure to subscribe to the channel so you never miss another insight that can elevate every part of your life. And if you want to go deeper, if you are ready to truly embody the Stoic masculine presence we talk about here, join the Stoic members community today. Inside you will find more advanced teachings, support, and tools to help you master this path. Thank you again for watching. I appreciate your time and your commitment to growth. And I will see you right here tomorrow with more. Stay strong, stay centered, stay true to who you are.